I'm going to say the hard part out loud. I think for women, especially beautiful women who are energetically sensitive, intimacy with a man is always going to be a risk. That no matter how much you did your due diligence, sometimes men will flip after being intimate with a woman. That's sadly just a fact. And if you've had that happen despite doing your due diligence, my heart really goes out to you, because women really do bond through intimacy, and that's not necessarily the case for men, although some men do, and that's like a win-win situation when that happens. At the very least, you want a man to understand that it's a big deal for you to take this step, and that if he does not feel the same way, then please to let you know so that you can remove yourself from the situation. And the other thing is too, if a guy tells you he's not looking for anything serious, just please believe him. I know I've seen a million other videos that say that, but it's really the truth. He's telling you the truth. I'm not looking for anything serious. And in doing so, if you choose to proceed forward, you're going to do so at your own risk, because men who are not looking for anything serious will be more than willing to sleep with you if that's something that you want to do. So what I would do, if you really like a guy, say you've been on 3 dates with them, and you're getting the sense that he really likes you too, you might just want to lay it on the table in a sense, and of course put this in your own words. Hey, I like you. You seem like a cool person. I'm interested in getting to know you further. Are you seeing anyone else? I just want to know, because I don't want to get too invested. If you're dating other people, you can really be that straightforward. Once again, there's no timeline for this, but if you like someone and you think that you might want to be intimate with them, then having an actual discussion about it, I think, is important. And not only because of the emotions involved, but physically. You want to know, does someone have an STD or an STI, depending, sexually transmitted infection, a sexually transmitted disease. You want to know their status. You might want to know a little bit about their history. The other thing is too, if a man cares about his sexual health, he'll want to know those things for himself as well. But I think a lot of times what happens is men are ruled by their sex drives, and I don't mean that in any disparaging sense. I was ruled by my sex drive too. So this is not a joke, and so a lot of times, like, things will just completely go out of their head. All right, I'm in the middle of writing a synopsis on the board, but another thought just entered my mind that's important. Men are also very action-oriented, and so another way that you can tell if they like you is they're doing things for you. Maybe you need something fixed or something put together, or they'll make time. You need your oil changed, and you might say, "Oh, Christina, all that's basic." Well, is it? It's time out of their day to come and help you. And it was so funny. There's a guy I know. He's a great guy. I know a lot of great guys too. His name's Kevin. This is so cute. So I was in a group chat. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of guys for this financial thing, and we were going to meet up on a Thursday morning, and I know him and his fiance peripherally. So Kevin messages like, "I'm not going to be able to make it because I need to drive my fiance to work because she's afraid of the ice." There was like a little bit of ice. It wasn't too bad, but she didn't want to drive because she was afraid that she would get into an accident. And so Kevin, stepped up and drove her to work. And I thought that was so cute. And cute in the way, he likes her, he's going to marry her. And that's like a perfect example of when guys actually care about you. Kevin is really like a master when it comes to this topic area. He's really good, and for him, to miss a meeting to drive his fiance to work, That's what I'm talking about, okay? It's usually not these like over the top $200 dinner types of things. In the end, those things are like really don't mean anything. If you think about like the Tinder swindler, right? If you've watched that on Netflix, well, he always paid initially, and that's to rope somebody in. And the other thing is too, I watched this woman, I wish I could find this video, but I saved it, but I don't know where it is. This was a woman of color, a very intelligent black woman, who beautiful, and she worked in IT, and she said something I'll never forget. She said, you know, I know all the red flags to look out for. She said, you know, I'm dating these people, and for 4 to 5 months, it's fine. I mean, everything is going great. But then after 4 to 5 months, like things start to change radically. And, you know, she inferred that there isn't really any way that she would have been able to tell, because everything was copacetic, everything was on the up and up. And then, like Queen Sovereign says, sometimes men will put out their best foot first, and then when they think that they have you hooked in, they will change up. Now, we can say the same thing about women as well in different ways. Okay, so let me just say it goes both ways with the genders. Sometimes there aren't necessarily any signs unless you can read energy signatures and analyze people's energy patterns. That really is the key. And a lot of times, even, you know, this is a beautiful gift, it really is. A lot of times I might even see a person, I don't know, like 3 times in a couple of months. And I don't do this with everybody, I just do it because it's an invasion of privacy, okay? But when I need to, I can analyze that person's patterns. And if I don't fit into that person's patterns, so like for example, a lot of men will actually be looking for a woman to fit into their lives, right? I know I'm not going to be that person. It's not anything personal. It's just I'm not able to do that. I have a life of my own, and I'm not actively looking for anyone, but you know, that person and myself would need to meet in the middle, and that would involve compromise on both of our ends. But a lot of times when I read these energy patterns, you know, people want to continue with their lives, but they want you along for the ride, okay? If you have a strong path, I'll say this here, if you have a strong path, it's really hard. It is, because you know, contrary to what social media says, you're going to be a little bit isolated sometimes. But I think in the long run, to follow your own path versus trying to jump onto somebody else's path, that's going to stand you in good stead. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if it doesn't work out with that person, then what do you have? What do you have? You've abandoned your own path for this person because you like this person. And if it doesn't work out, then you're kind of back to square one. I keep writing things down and more things are coming to me. Okay, this is going to be my final point because this video is getting long. If you want me to do a separate video on reading energy signatures and analyzing energy patterns, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. All right, so the final thing, and this is actually really important, is when you start to see these red flags, you need to walk away. Your self-esteem needs to be high enough that you can exit the situation. And believe me, I know this is really hard. This is really challenging. When I was 20 years old, I did not have the wherewithal to do this, okay? So this is to say that you can develop it. With a lot of women, I see emotional codependency. Women, generally speaking, will be emotionally codependent, you know, if they're going to be codependent, and men will be physically codependent. So that's why a man will seek to be in a relationship or friends with benefits. It's hard for a man to not be physically intimate with someone. It's really hard. Harnessing that physical codependency is extremely difficult. And personally, I don't think we talk about it enough. And like I said, for women, emotionally speaking, it's hard for them to be on their own. And yes, there are exceptions to this on both sides for sure. Now, I don't say this with any ill intent. I was physically codependent. I was emotionally codependent with a very strong sex drive when I was here at Penn State, and I was able to overcome it. And believe me, if I can do it, you can do it too. There are absolute rewards for doing this. It is not easy. I'm not part of any organized religion, and I am not part of the New Age. I am completely independent, and you can do this if you so choose. And I believe that we need to talk about the benefits of overcoming these codependencies, because it is really the true path to freedom.